Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and I'm on a little quest, in actual fact. I'm just going to leave my van here, which I'm just going to lock up with the key. Perfect. So I'm in Burpham today. I've been to Burpham before. It's in West Sussex and it's very close to Arundel. On, has to be said, a very windy day. It's going to threaten rain as well a little bit later on, but with occasional blue skies, so that's rather nice. And it's a very countrified little area out just north of the Downs. In fact, it's a village that was built on a burh originally by King Alfred when he was trying to keep his citizens safe from the Danes, from the Viking invasions. And I'm walking up here to the church, St Mary's Church, which is only a stone's throw away from the car park here by the recreational ground and the pub, which is here, the George at Burpham. I can hear the church chimes actually, which are just across the road. Here we go. St Mary the Virgin Church at Burpham. And it's just up this short little alleyway here. And there's a view back to the pub from the gate. The reason I'm here is I'm currently reading a book called Lift Luck on Southern Roads. It was written by the author Tickner Edwardes. In fact, his real name was Edward Tickner Edwardes, and he lived in Burpham. He was a vicar here at the church, and he's buried here. And I thought it would be interesting to go and visit his grave. Now, I'm not 100% sure where his grave is, but being a vicar, they're usually close to the wall, so I shall have a little look. St Mary's, I think, dates back to Saxon times, not so much the dedication, I don't suppose, but certainly the church here on this burh. So parts of it are probably very old, and actually if you look here on the tower at the end, it's interesting to see these indentations, which I think must be the result of the scaffold that was originally here to help the masons build the church. And you can see that the tower here is napped, and that's the effect when the flint has been given this flat surface on one side. It's very beautiful, I love it. I gather that when napping took place in the villages, and there's a lot of it in Sussex, it would cause quite a lot of dust, quite dangerous dust I should think, because they're very hard particles. And I understand that you were obliged, even in the summer, to close your windows because the dust would get everywhere. So you can see that this church has been made not only of flint but also some form of sandstone, and the sandstone has badly suffered from the weather. Here up on the highest point, which actually looks over the Arun valley towards Arundel, would take the blast of the wind, I suppose, and the rain, and as a consequence all of this has suffered pretty badly, but it's still there and it's still intact, which is great. I don't know which is the vicarage around here, where he would have lived, but no doubt it's one of the large houses in the area. The book I'm reading, if you haven't been following, is about his very random journey from Devon, where he was staying for a while, and he wanted to walk very much like Walter Wilkinson with his puppet show on the byroads and the back roads. This was around the 1920s, I think, if I remember rightly. It's just at the beginning of the motor car, and they were seen by many people as a terrible thing, a noisy, polluting thing that was not one with nature. Another person who is buried here in the graveyard somewhere, and I have no idea, and it would probably take forever to go and look, is Melvyn Peake, who wrote Gormenghast, and apparently he walked the South Downs whilst he was here, conjuring up the characters. So this place has a bit of a literary history with people who were creative with the written word. It's a beautiful graveyard round here, and there are some interesting walks in the whole area. Up over the downs that way. I've walked some of them, and if I remember I'll try and link to the videos. I think I've spotted the grave just back there by the east wall, but we'll go and have a look at that in a second. I just want to go up here because I love these sort of footpaths and the walls and the steps that take you through. So there's a public footpath with multiple routes just up here if you're ever in the area and looking for somewhere to go for a walk. Just so happen to be blessed with a bit of sunshine. It's going to rain a little later on, I know that, but we've just been so lucky this morning. And here, as you can see, look at this edge of the field here with all the wild flowers, and some of them are still in bloom, which is absolutely wonderful to see. This would have pleased Tickner Edwardes, for he loved nature and he wrote about nature, particularly about bees. He was very famous for his book on the law of bees, but he also wrote about nature as well. And the live reading that we're giving, he often refers to much of the nature around and the plants that you see, many of which sadly 100 years later we've lost thanks to the way that we now industrialise our farming. And people, it seems, are no longer interested in all those wonderful different species of wild flowers that have peppered and, well, more than peppered, I suppose, carpeted the world around us. Now, thanks to things like perennial ryegrass and other commercial grasses, we just don't see them. Let's go back to the churchyard and have a look for his grave. And the wind is up now. I apologise for the wind on the microphone, but here it is, Tickner Edwardes' gravestone, 1865 to 1944. He didn't see the end of the war, and I don't know what his thoughts were about it, but he was certainly a fine writer and wrote some fantastic stuff. And I have to say, I'm enjoying reading the lift luck on southern roads, and it would be one of those sort of books that perhaps in the spring or summer it would be wonderful to follow in his footsteps at some point. But there he is, resting now for others to come and visit. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this quick impromptu video. It's a beautiful church, and at some point I'd like to come back and have a look inside. I can't remember now whether I did get inside before, and do something more about it. There is somewhere, I believe, a leper's hole or window in which lepers would be able to, in the old days, very old days, come and watch the sermon as it was preached. I'm not quite sure where that is. But in the meantime, anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye for now. Bye-bye.